right, so let's be serious for a moment right here. 2025 is up, and I've got a list of the top 10 brands that sold the most last year. Now, while 2024 was a peak year in terms of sales, to be honest, it just tapered quite a little bit for 2025 with a quick caveat and disclaimer, and I'll be talking about that later on in today's Z List. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the list with number 10, MG, with 8,713 units sold for 2025. Now, for MG being a newer brand, I probably not call them a newer brand anymore because they experienced a sort of renaissance of sorts with their second coming, giving us all of these amazing cars and all these amazing models compared to what it was like 10 years before. Now, models like the MG G50 has been proven to be one of their volume sellers, as well as the new MG ZS Hybrid. What I'm most excited about is, of course, their bigger hybrids such as the MG HS and their all-new MG TRQ. What I'm most excited for 2026 is their new mid-size pickup truck, the MG TRQL, and their compact hybrid, the MG HS. So at number 10, you've got MG, and I think things are looking up for the brand despite a little dip in sales from last year. So coming in hot at number 9 is Hyundai, 10,475 sales. Now, reaching the 5-digit mark is quite a feat in itself. However, the previous year's figures for Hyundai were actually quite bigger than what they had for 2025, and they experienced quite a dip at 13%. But a lot of these figures, a lot of these numbers has to do with their decline in terms of commercial sales. Now, whenever we talk about commercial sales, we talk about non-passenger cars, but the weird thing about how the Philippines counts their models here is that SUVs, trucks, and even MPVs are counted as commercial vehicles. Now, with the introduction of the new Hyundai Stargazer, the Hyundai Stargazer X, and of course, the introduction of their new electrified models such as the Elantra Hybrid and the Kona Hybrid, I think things are gonna be looking up for the brand as well if they play their cards right. But coming in at number 8, we've got Honda at 16,257 units sold for 2025. Now, being as a Honda fan such as myself, I wasn't really expecting a lot from the brand last year because apart from perennial bestsellers like the Honda BRV, the Honda City, and even my favorite, the Honda Brio, their releases were, I think, a little bit more attuned to enthusiasts or fans such as myself, such as the Honda Civic HEV, the HRV HEV, and a lot of other stuff. I mean, these are cars that aren't really budget-oriented, in my opinion, as far as entry-level cars go, but I'm quite surprised and pleasantly surprised at that they sold this many cars. Previously, they sold about 15,500 units, which is quite commendable to begin with, but the extra 1,000 units sold for 2025 gives me hope that Honda is gonna push more of their marketing, more of their cars for 2026. Now we've arrived at mine and your dad and Tito's favorite truck brand, Isuzu, at number 7 at 17,237 units. Now, apart from the fact that Isuzu only sells 2 passenger-oriented cars such as the Isuzu MU-X and Isuzu D-Max, it's commendable for the brand to have this big of a fan base because most of their cars, most of their vehicles are oriented towards commercial use. Again, like I said earlier, trucks and SUVs are actually counted for commercial use, so they don't really have any technical passenger car sales. But with more than 17,000, in fact 17,200 sales of Isuzu vehicles, you know that they're in a great spot and are pushing for even more for 2026. Now, considering that the previous year they sold about 7,300, that little dip shouldn't be worrying Isuzu Philippines that much. Now, hopefully though, we see a lot more variants, a lot more models coming from the brand, maybe even electrified models, but knowing Isuzu, I think they're gonna go ahead and refresh, improve upon their current lineup so that you can go ahead and enjoy your truck out there on the road. So we got number 7, we got Isuzu. All right, so I just want to take a quick break right here. I know you guys are wondering what this car is behind me. It's the Jaecoo EJ6. So we'll be reviewing it right now, and we'll be releasing that video very soon. So you know what to do. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you won't miss that review and all of our videos right here, Zigwas Philippines. So at number 6, we've got Nissan at 20,571 units. You might be thinking to yourself, wow, 20,000 units sold for 2025. They must be doing really well. But if you consider that the previous year's sales figures were a lot higher, about 23% more, I don't think they're at an enviable position at the moment. Now, a lot of it has to do with some problems, some issues with the parent company abroad in Japan. But I think locally speaking, I think it's because of a lack of some refreshed models, some updates on their current models, and some newer models as well. They even discontinued the Nissan GT-R last year. That's definitely something that's disheartening for me as a car enthusiast. But I know that 2026 is going to be big for the brand. They've lined up and planned some newer models, some newer updates for this year. And in fact, they even held Nissan Fest recently at the Clark International Speedway. So watch out for Nissan in 2026. They're going to be huge. Now we're here at number 5, and we've got Ford at 21,784 units. Now, unfortunately for Ford, 21,784 units might be a good number. Unfortunately, it's quite a drop, quite a free fall from the previous year's figures of about 28,000. That's a 20% decrease from the previous year. Now, a lot of this has to do with the shifting changes of the market away from SUVs, despite the fact that Ford's rankings when it comes to brand reliability, when it comes to brand recognition nationally, of course, has increased. Now, it's not really something against Ford, it's just that they seem to be on the uptick. They seem to be gearing up for something big for 2026. And I think the key difference, or the key model that's going to be into for next year, is of course the Ford Territory Hybrid, which is just ramping up in sales. They've sold quite a few already for the past half a year, and I think 2026 will be big for that particular model. And of course, people will always be flocking towards the Everest and the Ford Ranger. So I think at number 5, Ford is at an unenviable position, but they're gearing up for something big. Now we're here at number 4, and we've got Suzuki at 21,984 units, which is quite a significant jump, about 8% from the previous year's figures. A lot of this has to do with the way that they're marketing or pushing their brands, especially the Suzuki Ertiga and the Suzuki XL7, despite the fact that they're stopping sales of the Suzuki Swift. These two MPVs, the Ertiga and XL7, have proven to be quite some good bestsellers for the brand. Now, I'm looking forward to the Suzuki Fronx. We reviewed it and I absolutely loved it. It's the perfect blend of small car and at the same time a subcompact crossover SUV. But because of the hybrid technology that we have under the hood there, it has some amazing fuel economy as well. It's going to be quite a year to hold up to for Suzuki to maintain that 4th spot that they're in. All right, we come to the wild card, the dark horse of the group, coming out of left field with 26,122 units sold for 2025. It's BYD at number 3. Now, BYD wasn't really on the list or anything part of the list right here before that last year, but because of some amazing sales of the Sea Lion 6, and it's been quite ubiquitous right now on the road. BYD experienced a sort of sales renaissance, and I think they're not slowing down for 2026. But the biggest surprise, though, is that one of their best sellers is actually the BYD Seagull electric vehicle. One of the smallest, cutest, and angriest looking faces out there is one of their best sellers. About almost 4,000 units sold for last year. I was surprised that a lot of people were actually counting into the BYD Seagull. You've noticed that a lot of videos on the channel feature BYD cars, and a lot of people have been talking about BYD the past year. So at number 3, out of left field, we got him right here, that's BYD. Now, BYD might have had a great year, a great 2025, but it's still a few ways off from the number 2 spot, which is Mitsubishi at 86,808 units. Now, this may be quite a small dip from the previous year, just about 2%, but I think they're still on a roll, especially when you count off their passenger vehicles and their commercial vehicles. Especially the Mitsubishi Expander and Expander Cross, they might be going a little bit long in the tooth now, but fans can't have enough of it. And because of refreshes every other year and experiencing that last refresh last year, people can't get enough of it. Now, there's an all-new vehicle as well to look forward to. It's the Mitsubishi Destinator, and of course the Mitsubishi X-Force as well. The Mirage G4 might not be selling as well as the previous years, but because of the X-Force and the Destinator which we have for this year, I think things are going to look even more up for Mitsubishi this 2026. Now we come to the top spot at number 1. Drum roll, please. Well, is it any surprise? It's Toyota. They're dominating the top spot, and it's not even close. At 229,447 units, they actually experienced quite an uptick, about 2% from the previous year's sales figures. Now, the reason behind this, of course, is its perceived brand reliability, its reputation, its expanded dealer network, and of course, people just can't get enough of Toyota. They've got quite a number of models available, from small cars to large SUVs. They've got everything that people are looking for when it comes to vehicles, and everywhere you look, you've got Toyotas right here, Toyotas right there. I wouldn't be even surprised if this becomes a Toyota itself, but that's how ubiquitous they are. At number 1, Toyota holds that top spot quite fiercely, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 selling brands of 2025. The data is right there, so head on over to zigwheels.ph to check out the complete figures and even the models that made it to this list. Now, the data actually tells me two things. Legacy brands like these Japanese brands and even American brands still hold the top few spots. But the data tells me two things here. Japanese brands, or these legacy brands right here, are still retaining the top spot, the top 10 figures, because of their perceived reliability, their established dealer network, and of course, I mean, it's definitely something more comfortable spending your hard-earned cash on a more established brand. But there are a couple of newer brands such as BYD and MG slowly creeping up these figures or these lists, because a lot of people are now more open to explore new possibilities when it comes to electrified vehicles, smaller vehicles, and of course, the value that they're getting out of these cars. But I want to know what you think. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any episode of the Z-List and all of our reviews right here on the channel. Thanks so much for watching. It's been Roy Robles with zigwheels.ph. See you guys next time.